Hello and welcome back to Games Over Explained. Today we are back to going medieval, our settlement of Wythenshawe. If you have not seen previous episodes, I will put the playlist in the description, so take a look at that if you want to get caught up before watching. On our previous episode, we got a fair amount done, not as much as we wanted to. We can still see some of the remnants of our big battle where we lost Mariota, who we just got recently. And as I had said in that episode, today's episode is going to be predominantly focused on building our defense. So to get started with that, the first thing I want to do is I want to build a wall. It's high past time that we stop relying on just our main complex kind of fort building for our protection. We are almost to year 3 at this point, and we still don't have any kind of meaningful defense. The other part of that is going to be we're going to start our iron production and also refining the iron. As it stands, all we can do is produce iron ingot from iron nuggets, but we have no way of working on that iron itself. So to take care of that issue, we are going to have to work on smithing and kind of developing how we want to approach this. So our big thing that we can do is we can get an armorer's table. We will have to get tailoring first, which we were already planning on doing, so let's unlock that. The next phase would be armor, which is going to take 30 of the chronicles for us to accomplish that. The other thing we could do is start working on getting to our proper blacksmithing. And this is going to be a little more more involved, I think, which is okay. We're not afraid of involved, but we are going to have to unlock stone block cutting first in order to get that done, because these guys, we can research this, but it will require limestone or clay brick specifically, which we have not unlocked yet. So that's kind of the rundown for now. We could also work on defensive structures. We might throw that in the mix here, but we already have a fair amount to get done. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to keep it paused because I want to start laying out this wall. We're going to build it out of standard limestone for now. We did save up a lot of limestone for our church, which we will finish in the near future. But obviously we have some more issues going on. And so I just want to reprioritize, reevaluate, and see where we're at. And when I did that, it pretty much told me you can't keep losing settlers every episode. So in order for us to proceed, I really think this is the way forward. So what I want to do to start is build out this wall. And of course, I've already done this. And so I'm going to go around, and the idea is I'm going to try and do my best to follow the topography here a little bit and just build a wall around our current settlement, not including our quarries. I don't care as much about those, but I am going to put some gates here. And I think really the best way to accomplish this at this point is for me to just go ahead and get it done. So we are going to get started on that. I'm going to build this out, and I'll catch up with you once that's done. Okay, so I have constructed our first build of the wall here. This is going to be the Great Wall of Wythenshawe, and it is quite great indeed. You might notice, in fact, that it is giant, and that's by design. I wanted to build in some area for expansion. You can go ahead and just build the wall and kind of be happy with where you're at, or we can make sure that we include some space for growth down the line. I do think that's important, so I went ahead and did that. You're probably thinking, wow, it's going to take a lot of limestone. Are you sure you have enough for that? And I actually really don't think I do. It's hard to calculate exactly how much limestone I am going to need, but I can tell you right now that each of these walls takes 5, and there's well over probably 100 of these guys. So really, I think the best way to approach this is we're just going to let them start building. And as we go along, we're going to just need to harvest more limestone. That's really all there is to it. And there's nothing we can do to avoid it. So we will do so as time progresses and as the needs become more apparent for, what kind of resources we need. So they are starting on this. They're becoming annoyed, of course. Let's see. Where are you annoyed? Let's take a look. Friend died. Yes, I'm annoyed about that as well. Nutta, don't you worry for a minute. Oh, turn on my treetops here because I did go ahead and do that originally, and they are suffering from cold. You know, we have a lot of problems right now, unfortunately. We'll try and see if they can survive this winter. I have a feeling we'll have some cold snaps coming up. Oh, one other thing about the wall. This is not the final revision. I do intend to create an inner wall, so we'll have kind of an outer and an inner, and then they'll be able to travel within it. More or less just, I like the aesthetics of it a little more. But again, going back to the limestone issue, I just think we're probably going to end up using way more limestone than we have. So I don't want to overburden ourselves with this project until we're actually ready to take it on fully. So this is just the start. I don't think the plain limestone is going to be our last material either, but we'll eventually probably need to retrofit the wall with different materials moving forward. So they are going to go ahead and go to sleep. We'll go ahead and jump forward to them not being asleep. All right, it is another beautiful, brisk morning. Another great day to continue building our massive wall. And they will start working on that. So the other thing I wanted to kind of poke around with, as I mentioned earlier, we are going to want to start collecting iron in the very near future, but I think really what we should probably start with is unlocking the appropriate uses for this, because we can start generating iron, but I don't know that it's going to be particularly useful. So if we go into our manage menu, we can kind of get an idea of what our armor's like. And the reality is it's not great. We have a lot of flimsy leather armor. And so I think being able to move forward, we just need to be able to produce better armor, which is going to require us to have 30 chronicles, as we talked about earlier. So we're going to go ahead and put in our order, which we have here for 30 chronicles, and that should get us moving there. This is going to take quite a while, and I think it's going to be another episode with lots of building to do. And we're going to have to go back and see if we can fix some of these. See, this outer wall here didn't get built first, so there's going to be some little touch-ups we'll have to do and kind of provide them the means to be able to get to the areas that they're not able to reach right now. I do want to check on Oswald because he's still injured. He's got a broken rib, so that's just going to affect movement speed, evade chance, and motor function. Not super ideal, but it certainly is something that can heal, so we'll let him continue to do his thing. We're also going to need to start probably producing limestone, because if you watch up here in this top right in our resources, we are already taking a huge dip into our resources. So let's go ahead and take a look at these. We know these 4 are limestone, so we'll pull those out. These are clay, which I'm not as interested in, and this is limestone over here as well. So we'll start there. Let's see, was this limestone? Yes, okay. So we'll start there. Let them continue to work on this. We have our doors in place to the quarry, so shouldn't really affect their work too much. And they're already heading back for the night. This is going to take quite a while. There's going to be a few jumps here and there, I think, on this episode. But we will continue to push through and get this done, because it's very, very important. I'm not sure. There is more iron over here. I'm hoping that we'll be able to dig out this limestone as well, depending on what it looks like we have resource-wise over here. Because I know you can't really see it because of the snow, but if you look on the bottom left, it does say there's more limestone underneath. So I'm hoping maybe next time the snow thaws out, we can go ahead and start marking some of those areas, because we are going to need limestone really, really badly. I mean, they've built a fair amount of the wall, but we already have dropped quite a bit in terms of the resources we had. See, here comes the thaw. Okay, so let's take a look at this real quick while we have a moment. So it does look like we have limestone that kind of Oh, there's more gold over here. Very nice. So there's more limestone that borders this iron on either side. And we may go ahead and pull that gold up too. Let's go ahead and mark these guys for harvest. And then probably go ahead and expand this out. That way we have some people mining and some people building. I think it's probably worth splitting it up. And then we have some people drinking. It's worth splitting up the workload. That way they can get it knocked out. We do have some emergency limestone over here that we can rely on as well, should it come to that. So yeah, let's let them work on getting caught up a bit, and I'll try and catch up with you guys. I don't want to make you watch them just keep building and mining. So we'll kind of do some jumps in between and catch up with each other. Okay, so we are back. A couple things to catch up on. First of all, wall, still not done. But we are being attacked before our wall is completely finished. And we really haven't made a ton of other advancements in terms of, you know, what we want to do in terms of like the blacksmithing and, you know, creating more weapons and all that. Yeah, we've just been building wall and it's spring. So we're going to deal with this. So I'm going to click this button. We have two fierce forest bandits, 5 forest bandits, and 2 bandit archers. So I'm going to pretty much click and pause immediately. And my idea, oh boy, I haven't even put a door in since the last one. Okay, off to a great start. What I do want to do is drop these guys here. And I'm going to see if I can convince one of our settlers here, wow, to build some of this real quick. So let's see if we can prioritize building some of the traps. Ooh, right, they increased the requirements for skill on traps. Let's see if we can get this done quickly. All right, let's see what we got here. I do want to see where they spawned. Yeah, so this side of the wall is mostly built, so they'll have to go around, which buys us some time. Not a lot of time, but some time. So I'm thinking about using a different approach here. I'm wondering if it's more beneficial to keep our melee folks who have iron daggers. We need to get our weapon situation straightened out, but I'm wondering if it's better to keep them in the yard where they have support and not trapped in here where they don't have support. And I'm not sure on the answer on that. So I am gonna watch these guys to see if their pathing actually figures out how to get through the wall. Oh, yeah, there's a hole right there. That's nice. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get everyone in position then, shall we? So I want to draft everybody, and as usual, we're gonna take our archers and get them up top. And then what I think I want to do is I think I want to try this outside approach. I frankly think we are going to end up losing somebody in this one. I don't think that we have the capabilities yet to defend ourselves in this situation, but we can certainly attempt to. So let's see how we do here. What are we doing here, guys? Who is standing here? Noda. Where are you going? Oh, because the door is almost built. Oh, no. This is not great. Let's see if we can undo this real quick and see if he'll build this door for us. Okay, so ideally, should start engaging here. This one's got me a little, a little nervous. Let's see what happens, I guess. All right, that's one down. Sinmund, I'd really appreciate if you would actually focus on these guys down here because they're actively engaged in combat. Who's this? John? John, you need to get out of here, buddy. Go. Where's Oswald? Oswald needs to engage this guy. And I want Sinmund to also engage him. Let's see if we can back him off a little bit. I think John... Is this door done yet? Did it get finished? Looks like it might not be done yet. So I wonder if I can get John inside one of these buildings, because I bet he has a higher chance of surviving if he does. All right. Trying to play some strategy here and hopefully be able to pull this win out. Oswald's unconscious. Okay, not ideal. See if I can get Noda to carry Oswald to a bed. Nope. All right, that's not gonna work. So I guess what Noda really should do is engage this guy here, and then I'll have Cinnamon try and back him up. There's another one down. Let's see if I can get Coinel here to engage. Come on. All right. Looking okay, sort of. Yes. What a siege that was. Okay. Noda blocked the most hits. What a champ. All right, let's try and clean this up. They should start fleeing now. Maybe they'll stay engaged with the ones that they're already engaged with. Let's see. Let's try and finish off the other Oswald here. Would be nice to get their equipment. All right. And let's see, Noda's coming after. All right, down. So let's switch and kill this Giles guy. I think the rest of them have already fled. Let's go ahead and undraft Noda, because what I really need Noda to do is grab Oswald. Of course, Noda's fleeing. All right, there we go. Now will you grab Oswald? Okay. That should be everybody. Let's undraft. Okay, well, that was quite exciting. We did make a ton of progress on the wall while you guys weren't around. Wow, what a mess this is. It's always something here in Wythenshawe. As you can see, as I mentioned earlier, while I wasn't stressed out trying to figure out how we were going to pull this off, there's quite a difference in season now, I would say, comparative to when you guys saw us last. So let me try and get this situation under control here. Tend to our wounded, and then we'll take a look at the wall progress itself. So Noda is injured and is bleeding. Let's see, Oswald is unconscious but is in bed, so we got something going for us there. And then John is bleeding out but enjoying entertainment, so that's not something you see every day. So Sinmund is eating, and now he's gonna go tend to wounds, which is exactly what I was trying to get him to do. Looks like Sinmund is moving a little slow too. Maybe he's just slow. Guess we'll find out. I can't believe that John, what is going on here? Is John's convalesce not high? No, it's priority 1. I guess he's just okay with bleeding out slowly. I think we'll be okay to tend wounds here. I'm not 100% sure on that. Probably tell John to go ahead and convalesce. Oh, I don't think I can bully them into convalescing. Well, he's going to do it now that he's played backgammon and feels satisfied with where he's at. Whew. What a stressful time that was. I can't believe we managed to not lose anybody. I'd knock on wood, but it would be very loud for you, so I'll not do that. So Sinmund is tending wounds. Oswald's going to sleep. Coinel's like the only one that's not actually injured. So I'm gonna prioritize tending wounds for John, who's bleeding out. And Oswald is not bleeding, just has a bruised arm, so this should take care of everybody. Sinmund's gonna go take a nap. Let me make sure that we get Oswald addressed here. Or sorry, John addressed, because if he bleeds out, he'll die. And I really don't want to lose anybody after how well we did on that one. So let me hit the fast forward a little bit. And Coinel's not going to be happy about staying up late, but that's all right. As long as John's bleeding stops. Yep, okay. All right, so while they're sleeping, let's take a look at the wall. You kind of got some visibility into how we were doing, but As you can see, it's coming together. There's still some holes here and there. We're working on it. My main priority is getting this bottom layer done, and maybe I should have had them do that first and then move on to the top layer. We have a sizable chunk on this side that isn't done, but I'm not as worried about that. So like this area here, this can pretty much wait till the end. They have a couple ramps down here that they could use, but I think it'll be all right. We are making great progress though. Some other stuff I did off camera was I expanded out our quarry a little bit here, and I went ahead and built this because I was noticing that there's tons of limestone down here, and we are pretty much out of limestone, so we're kind of building as we go at this point. There's tons of limestone down here, and they weren't able to reach it, so I figured the most effective way of doing this, since this whole area is just going to be one giant quarry anyway, would be to just kind of connect these two. It didn't take John any time at all. He's quite the miner, so we didn't have to worry about it. We haven't started building food for the season, but I'm not worried about that as much either, because we have 568 stew right now, so we have quite a bit to go off of for the time being. We do have some shelves up here that I built, and I actually wanted to see... maybe I can't. I probably should have checked this before I built it. I thought for sure that I'd be able to store ale here, but maybe ale just has to be stored in a stockpile. Okay, so we got a new settler event, and it looks like it's for Humphrey, and I am so scared of accepting new settlers at this point because of how rough of a go we've had it, but we could use the extra hands. Humphrey's good at smithing, which would be nice. The pseudonym is also the Doctor of Haze something, which probably means that he's quite good at medicine. So we're gonna go ahead and say yes, because there's no like immediate consequence to it. Yeah, there's no immediate consequence. So we're gonna go ahead and accept. Here they come. We have a spare bed anyway, and we really could use the extra hands. And he comes with a flimsy wooden spear, so that's nice. Let's go ahead and copy and paste. I did want to specify leisure for everybody at this hour. I tested it out with Noda, and it looked like it actually helped quite a bit. My concern was that I was having people, they would essentially wake up, run all the way over here, start an action, like take a couple whacks at a limestone deposit, and then immediately come back and sit down and play backgammon. So I wanted to kind of address that, try to make it a little easier for us. I'm not sure how useful it will be, but we'll give it a go. They did finish all our stick traps as well, which is really nice. I hope they clean up these corpses soon, because it is kind of unseemly. We do have an iron short sword. Not a bad collection of items here, once we actually collect them. So, like I said, they're not really working on food at the moment because there is so much else to do, but we don't need it as much. So let's take a look at our new guy, Humphrey, here and see if I was right. So not actually that good at medicine, but very interested in it. So we could probably use that and feel pretty good about that. Good at culinary, marksman, animal handling. So, all in all, I think that's a pretty good win for us. Probably have him get rid of that spear at some point. Let's go ahead and equip all headgear, all apparel, and then all armor. That way everyone's loaded up and has more protection. I'm not really sure what happened with Oswald, why he had no headgear, but we'll let him pick up some headgear. So I'm hoping that the wall can get done soon. We are, like I said, kind of at a point where we're collecting limestone as fast as we're using it. But I think we're on the final stretch here. So I'll get back to doing some building, and now that the action's done, and kind of cleaning some of this up, and then we'll proceed. I don't really want to start on getting the blacksmithing stuff done until we're done constructing, for a couple reasons. One, they haven't really worked on building Chronicles yet. I know I could prioritize it, but I'm really concerned about getting this wall done because I think it's going to help a lot. Better than even having weapons is holding people out for a sizable time. And so I think this is kind of the key to moving in that direction. So I'm just going to let them finish building the wall, try to get this knocked out this episode, and then we'll circle back and start working on some of the iron refining and getting some progress on that front. All right, Oswald is putting in the very last few blocks we have on the wall. I'm very excited that this is done. As you can see, it is day 8 of spring, and it has been a long journey to get to this point. I really wanted to get this wall done this episode, mainly to serve the purpose of showing kind of a shift in how we're going to play moving forward. And frankly, it was just long overdue. It was time for us to expand, get more protection built in, and we'll continue to develop our defensive capabilities as time goes on. But this was really an important first step. So I'm really glad to be done with it. I'm going to do a quick visual inspection. There was a block over here earlier, which they seem to have gotten. And as you can see, this bad boy is up and ready to go. This is, again, not the final iteration of the wall. I have some plans. Like I said, I want to kind of bring in an inner wall and be able to have them go up on it and walk on it. And then I also would like to maybe build some sort of lock system. And what I mean by that is, kind of a double door system where enemies would have to break a door, then come into like a trap area and then break another door. And then we could also use that as quote unquote a kill zone where they would be in this strip of area and we'd be able to walk around them and fire arrows down on them. I think that would be very useful. I just am hesitant to say that we have the resources for it at this time. So now that the Great Wall of Wythenshawe is complete, we are finally gonna move on with our lives. Our next step is going to be a couple of things. First and foremost, Sinmund has not really had a lot of time to do research, and that is mostly because he's been cooking this whole time. We have so much food, it's insane. So what I would like to do is I am going to actually have Sinmund bump up research to level 1, and that's going to force him to prioritize doing research moving forward, which will generate the chronicles we need to be able to start producing or rather to unlock our armorer to be able to start producing better armor. The next component to that, of course, is going to be iron. We really need to start getting into this iron, and I keep saying that, but now we're going to do it. So I'm going to actually have them knock out this little 3x3 here once morning comes, and we'll kind of go from there. There's some coal over here. I didn't find anything super interesting over here outside of another iron vein. And so I am going to actually assign them to strip this back just a little more. I'm really curious to see what's down there, but our main priority right now is iron. We need more of it. We need a lot of it. And we're going to keep basically hammering away at this until we are at a point where we can start creating better armor for our folks. Because I was looking while I've been sitting here for all this time waiting on them to be able to build this wall, and most of our armor has barely any rating at all. This is a wool gambeson, leather armor, wood armor. If you look at the armor ratings, they're atrocious. This might as well not even be wearing it. 1.11, 0.25, 0.21. So it's just not really great. Now the construction's done, life has kind of resumed back to normal, at least to some degree. We still have a lot of stuff that we need to haul off, but we're getting there. So a couple other little things that I had done kind of just poking around while I was waiting for the wall to be built. Just so you know, the wall took about, let me check my timer real quick. Yeah, it took me about an hour to get all that done in real time. So I've been kind of poking around, figuring out what I want to do. I built some more armor racks, but I'm actually thinking that it's going to be best just to convert a lot of these weapons into iron. Our storage room is really just in a state right now with how much junk we have in here. So I am going to once again have them smelt some items for iron. And we're going to start with 10 because we have a ton of have a ton. Let me finish my thought, and then we'll get to the forest bandits. We have a ton of weapons from all of these raids that we've been experiencing. So I think our best case scenario right now is to just start using it all to get more iron, keep building up that iron reserve that we need, and then we'll be able to go on and develop better weapons. So Hrothgar is seeking refuge. Wow, really talented tailor. I don't know if I want to go through another raid. 3 fierce forest bandits, 5 forest bandits, and 2 forest bandit archers. No, I think we're just gonna say no thank you. I'm so sorry, Hrothgar, but this settlement's really burnt out on getting attacked. It's been a time. So I looked at Humphrey's abilities, skills, and he's quite good at smithing, which I'm really happy about. So he's going to be our primary smith. It's his number 1 goal right now. So he's just going to start producing iron. And then that should break down to iron ingots, I believe. Yes. Yeah, that'll break down into a full-on iron ingot. So our next other dealio that we have to take care of, our next major expansion, is going to be a armory or armorer area, whatever you want to call it. We are going to want to get that done in the very near future. And by near future, I mean pretty much going to start that now. Yeah, see, here comes some of the iron, and there's more iron underneath it. Excellent. Perfect. That's exactly what we wanted to see. So just to hammer out this armorer. The armorer is going to be in here. We're going to leave the forge over here, and then we'll probably do some sort of reconfiguration for the blacksmith's forge. And I can't remember if you can recycle weapons with the blacksmith's forge itself, if it's just an upgrade of this guy here. But we'll cross that bridge once we get to it. My main concern right now is providing a place for the actual armory to be, and I don't want it to be attached to our main building. So the armorer is going to work out of kind of a room like so. And we're going to put some separation here. I know over here we just did a single square of separation. We're going to do a little more than that on this side. We're going to break it over here. And then what I really want to do is just match the current size, because I want to store iron nuggets and things like that here. So I think that's going to be an important part of what we want to do in terms of design. And it's going to be a pretty simple building, really. And what I'm actually going to do is, stop. I was just about to say I was going to cancel these because I wanted to change the way we were doing this. But actually, that one's good there. So that one can stay. And then that one's going to go. Yeah, okay. Sorry, just getting my bearings. So let's remeasure this. This was 12 across total. And then this is 9. So let's bring this back one more. And that will leave us with 8. Yep, okay. So let's do 7 across here. Bring it up 7. And then we will build in like so. Like that. Okay. There's a tree right in the middle here, so we're going to go ahead and designate that to be cut. And then I also want to have a path set out to about here to start with. And we'll let them get started on that. And again, we're just prepping this area. We know that we're not able to get the armory table now, but we should be able to get it very quickly. As you can see, Sinmond over here is writing. Yeah, we have research available. Probably the decorative banners. Yep. And so we're just waiting on Sinmond to finish writing our other 14 chronicles that we need. So we might as well prep the area, kind of get it set up, ready to go before he is finished. That way we have a place to put our new armor table when we're done. So of course, a lot of this iron's falling into the pit. Let's take a look again and see what else we have. It's just more iron. This is fantastic. We're going to have so much iron in this settlement that we're not going to know what to do with it all. But we do have some plans for it, so it won't be, it won't be a complete loss or anything. So I do want to slap some wooden beams up here. And then, of course, we're going to get our door. And really what I really would love to do a grated door. I don't think we have the iron ingots to do it yet, but I think this would be ideal. So let's go ahead and do it because they're acting like we do. It says 1 iron ingot. I'm wondering where it's going. For now, let's see if we can have them come up here maybe and put the iron ingots down. Because I know we don't have a lot of storage underneath. And so my point is that I want to kind of get them to find more unique places to put it without putting them out here in the dry storage, though I guess it's just a smaller version. Look at that. They're going up. Oh man, they look so nice. I love the look of the grated doors. They're just not as secure. I think they have 300 hit points and the wooden doors have 120, so it's a little better. The next step up of door, which I don't think we have yet, it comes in under defensive structures, the reinforced doors. Now those things are awesome. They have tons of health. They have 500 hit points, and that's crazy. They take forever to break down, and that will ultimately be what our exterior walls are going to have. So, but for the time being, we don't have the research to spare for it, more or less. So we're just gonna roll with what we have here and be okay with it. So let's look at our roof here for the area that we just built. I actually like the idea. Let me look at this for a minute. I'm thinking just for funds and trying to make it look a little nicer aesthetically. Let's actually destroy all this and then bring this wooden wall in one and then have them build like this. I'm just kind of trying to create a porch effect, more or less, just to make it look nice. It doesn't need to be, not everything needs to be so boxy and boring. And I'm going to try, as we develop some of our more mid-game buildings and functions in the settlement, I would like to try and make it look just a little nicer. It doesn't have to be extravagant, but I do think, we're becoming a more civilized and developed settlement. And so our developments in architecture should explore that and represent how we are growing as a society. So we will let them take care of that. We don't have enough allowed resources, but I'm willing to bet we still have tons of weapons. So let's take a look and see. Yes, we still have a fair few. Let's go ahead and crank out another 5. And that should take care of that. And then we're also building up our iron nuggets. Yep. So let's make sure that iron nuggets are allowed here. They are not, so we're gonna add that to our big dry storage in the back here. And that should allow us to start, once we're done breaking down these 4 or 5 weapons that I've asked them to break down, that should let us actually start building our iron pipeline, which I'm really excited about. And then we'll work on getting our armor table once we have the resources to do it. We're at 26 Chronicles right now, so we're getting really close. The other thing we do need to do is return to the church. And so I actually was looking at this while I was building, or while they were building the wall, just trying to figure out what was going on here and why they kind of just stopped working on it. And it actually says building can't be reached. So I'm thinking the issue is that we built these stairs before they built these platforms. We'll just have to keep that in mind as we're building. Sometimes these little finicky things happen like that, and you just shrug your shoulders and say, okay, I'll play the game the way you want me to, instead of just doing whatever I want. So we'll handle it that way. I am really wanting this wall to look nicer, but I am pretty pleased. I mean, it's keeping the wolves out, so at least we won't have to worry about wolves in our church anymore. That's at least something. Man, there's a lot of wolves out there. Good thing we kept them out. Yeah, I'm really pleased with how the wall turned out. I think it looks pretty good. Let's take a zoom in here. Yeah, that looks nice. And imagine these are gonna be, you know, reinforced doors at some point. It won't always be a single point of entry, but for now, I think that's advisable just because we don't have a lock system at all. Like I explained earlier, ideally we would have some sort of entry point up here as well. So we could go out and say, you know, grab this iron that's just sitting on the surface over here, or dig out this limestone deposit, you know, things like that. But for the time being, I think it serves its purpose, and having the single point of entry really helps us. The other thing I also wanted to do is, since we have so many sticks, I'm actually just gonna load this up with stick traps here. And stick traps, you know, they do a little bit of damage. They're kind of a single use only type deal. So let's bring it out to here, because that would be, they come up here and turn. So I'm good with that. It's not gonna be the most aesthetically pleasing, but it serves a purpose. And at this point, I'm just trying to eliminate as many enemies as we can before they find their way into our base. So this is really just a nice little advantage for us. And the stick traps will just they'll take damage as they approach. And they only take 35 sticks. We had like 1,500 sticks and I sold a lot of them. There was a trader that came to town and I just wanted to offload some of them. Even though we have this massive storage at this point, I just didn't see a need to keep the sticks, you know, just hanging around. So it seemed like a good idea at the time. And it was. I don't have any regrets, because we always are generating more sticks. And speaking of generating more sticks, I'm going to clear these out because it's kind of becoming part of our controlled area. I like them next to the paths. When the trees are there next to the path, it makes it kind of a little more like a living space. But it kind of, these guys here are just like really encroaching our build space as we develop out. So hide everything for a minute because I do want to take a look at, okay, they've got it, so we don't really need to hide anyone. So let's go ahead and drop in a limestone floor, and I just want that to be kind of like that, and then we can get started on our roof. So what I'm thinking for the roof, let's see, let's play with this a little bit. And then we will actually run this limestone out to here. And I think that'll look nice. It's relatively put together. So they are sleeping again. They have deconstructed the stairs, so I'm hoping, it still says building can't be reached. Interesting. So maybe this counts because it's, no, they should be able to reach it from there. I don't know why they wouldn't be able to. Is this room not accessible? Oh, it is summer. No, the room's accessible. Well, I'm not sure what to make of that. That's all right. It's another problem for another day. We should have a path that comes out like so, and then takes us over to here and connects up to the porch there and there. And we'll leave a little grassy spot there. Here they all come to build. Ooh, it's a heat wave. This will be fun. Oh, we have our armor unlocked. Boom. Armory is done. This looks all right. Let's see. Yeah, I kind of like the way that turned out. I think it looks good. You know, let me know in the comments what you think. It's different. I suppose I could put Merlins on it just for decorative purposes, but I don't know if I'd like that much. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think and what changes we should make on that. So the next thing I want to do is obviously place our new production facility, which is our armorer's table, in here. And it is a little on the larger side. So let's pop it there. And it's going to require a fair amount of wood. We have plenty of wood. We need the iron ingot. And so we can actually make an order of that now. So let's order the iron ingot, and I would like to have, let's just start with, let's see. It requires 30 iron nuggets and 20 fuel. We only need 5 of these. Oh, I guess here comes Oswald to smith. Interesting. So yeah, let's make an order for 5 of these and just let them work on that. We have tucked away storage in here. This looks nice. I like how connected everything's getting. It's starting to look a little bit like a settlement. Oh, this was another little throwaway thing I wanted to do today. So let's go ahead and take care of this while I'm thinking about it. And this is adding more of these brewing stations, because we are at a point where we could really start upping our production. And I think the way we decided we wanted to do it before was kind of stage out the kind of brewing we set out. We do have our berry bushes in for the year, so we could very likely just produce a bunch of rough wine. That might be what we do, since we'll probably be producing berries at a much higher rate than we will barley. Yeah, we only have 76 barley, so we will try and work on that as quickly as possible. Could probably also go ahead and clear some more trees out again, just to keep our wood generation up, and also kind of just clear back some of the trees that are encroaching on some of the buildings. We're still doing all right on coal, so I'm not terribly worried about running out of fuel. So we are producing, he's working on producing more iron ingot now. Yep, there we go. The other thing I want to do is, while I'm thinking about it, I think we should probably go ahead and unlock blacksmithing, or at least start prepping for it. So let's order another 30 chronicles. And that's just so we can try and get this done. I don't think we're gonna get to it this episode, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I do think that in the next episode we'll be able to kind of build more of a blacksmith forge and go from there. Now everyone's falling unconscious because it is so dang hot. Wow, 101 degrees Fahrenheit. That is intense. So, but we are getting them moved. Oh, Noda passed out. Oh, I bet it's really hot in there. Yeah, it's 104 degrees inside. It's actually hotter in here than it is out here because of the smelting furnace. And so actually what we really should do is put windows in this. And that's just so we can vent. So I'll go ahead and put those in. We should be able to just replace the construction that's there. And then we can open it up, since clay does hold heat in a little more than some of the other materials do. There we go. I want to set that to open. And open. And that should vent out the forge a little bit, since it is getting so hot. Production speed 60%. Why is that? Probably too hot, if I had to guess. Yeah, that's probably what is going on there. So let's go ahead and actually throw in another window here. Is that roughly? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so we'll throw in another window there just to add some more vent space. And now it shouldn't be as hot in there. And maybe the issue is that it's closed in. I'll have to do some research on that. That's another thing that you guys could help me out with in the comments, is whether or not there's any sort of penalty really to keeping this inside, because it's not really telling me why my production speed is down. I just have to assume that it's because it's hot. Ah, they already built this. Excellent. So let's produce more rough wine, because we are going to have a ton of berries again in the near future. And then back here, let's see. We can make actual beer. Let's do one for beer and one for ale. Well, it's 20 barley, 5 fuel. Hang on a second. Let's look. all we're doing is using more herbs. So no, let's not do ale at all. Let's just do beer, get rid of the ale, set production for forever. Yeah, and beer is, I think, the highest quality of drinkable alcohol. Wow, we have a lot of injuries. Let's take a look real quick and see. Heat stroke, heat stroke, heat stroke, heat stroke, and heat stroke. Well, we didn't get the tailor done still, but you know, we'll get there. I'm just happy we got the wall in today. I think it's gonna be a major improvement to our life here at Wythenshawe. And now our armory table is done. It looks like we're not able to produce iron armor yet, but that's okay. We're at least getting in the right direction. Yeah. So looks like I'll have to add some more items here. We'll probably build some more facilities here. I do need to add a tailor still, and then we need to figure out how we can start producing some iron armor. So that will be my next phase of this, I think. So I think this episode is probably going a little on the longer side. So we're gonna call it here. I feel pretty good about where we're at, minus all these red things. It's misleading. Don't pay any attention to that. I feel really good about where we're at this episode. So let's try and review kind of what we did. Obviously, we have expanded our quarry a little more, got some iron out of it, dug a ton of limestone out of it, and we used that limestone to build the Great Wall of Wythenshawe. It's not done yet, but it at least provides us our first look at better life in Wythenshawe, and it should help us keep enemies at bay, or at least slow them down a little bit. We also built our Bridge of Death here, or at least most of it. So as enemies do come across, since this is the only point of entry for the entire town, they will get attacked by the stick traps. The other thing we did is we expanded or finished our brew house. We expanded it last episode, we finished it this episode, and kind of got some of our stuff taken care of here for beer, rough wine, getting some more production done. We also built our facility for our armorer. Man, I'm just struggling to say that. We built our facility for our armorer, and we will start using this a little more in the future. I need to probably finish out like building the tailor shop before we really get hot and heavy with this. So we will go to that stage next. We have started producing some iron and mining it based on, digging more iron out of the quarry. So I'm pretty excited about that. And we gained Humphrey, which was an unexpected accomplishment. I didn't think we were going to gain a new settler this episode. And in fact, we won a raid that I did not think we were going to win, and got to live another day to fight. So I think that's going to do it for this episode. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to give it a like. If you want to see more content like this in the future, then please subscribe. I do release at least one video a week, and so it'd be fantastic to see you here again. But I think that's actually going to do it. Again, this was Games Over Explained, playing Going Medieval, and we'll see you next week.